Here's how to make a beef tartare when you've been out fishing all day and you got to make it up to your significant other. Here are all the things that you'll need to make a beef tartare. You got tenderloin. You want a less fatty cut of meat. So tenderloin, I got this for super cheap at my supermarket because it's not a pretty shape. Cornichons or small pickles, a shallot, capers, an egg yolk. You don't have to put the egg yolk if you're a little squeamish about raw egg in your food. Garlic's always nice. Worcestershire W sauce, whole grain mustard, QP mayo, and finally I've got some parsley left in my fridge that I should use up, but also chives are a really great option in a beef tartare. I'm gonna use a food processor to make this super easy because I really don't feel like chopping a million things. However, the one thing that should not go in your food processor is your meat. We're gonna start by making nice thin strips of meat, and then once you have your slices of beef, you're gonna lay them on top of each other, and then we're gonna make nice long cuts like this, collect them all going one direction, and then we're gonna mince this really fine, and this is how we get our nice fine beef tartare pieces. Now for the rest of the ingredients, we're gonna throw them into a food processor because I'm too lazy to chop everything by hand right now. For the amount of beef we just cut up, I'm gonna use half a shallot, about 3 cloves of garlic. Next, we're gonna go in with our capers. I'm gonna put about like a teaspoon and a half of capers in there, making sure I don't get too much of the liquid in there. Next is our gherkins. I'm gonna throw about, let's go with 4 of them. And you definitely don't need this, but I'm gonna pop 1 Calabrian chili in there. I'm gonna take a bit of this parsley, just rip it off and right in there. And because we have raw garlic and raw shallot going in here, I'm gonna put a little bit of vinegar in here, just a splash, just to kind of brighten up the dish, but also it's gonna cut a little bit of that raw garlic power and that raw shallot power. And because I'm using whole grain mustard, I do wanna put a little bit of mustard. I'm gonna put a bit more in the end, but I'm gonna put about a teaspoon in here now just to break up those mustard seeds and really get that flavor. And then to this, I'm just gonna add a good pinch of salt and a good crack of black pepper. And I don't wanna turn this into a paste, but I want a fine chop. So I'm just gonna just keep lightly tapping it and watching it. And that's kind of how far we want to blend it. As you can see, it's not fully a paste. You can see the individual pieces of onion, garlic. Now we're going to take all of these blitzed veggies and add it to our pre-chopped meat. And we're going to give this a nice little mix. I'm going to do about 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of mayo first. About 1, 2, 3 splashes of the W sauce. And then 1 more teaspoon of the whole grain mustard. And if you're a hooligan like me, that's pretty much done. Just take some baguette, dip that in, eat that like it's an onion dip and call it a day. But I'm actually on social media, so let's make it a little pretty. And that's how you make a beef tartare. I just topped with a little Parmesan and a raw egg yolk just to make it kind of pretty. Always served with some cornichons and a baguette. And hopefully this makes up for not catching any fish today. So what are you waiting for? Get out there.